In this video, I'm going to explore what makes a great CV for construction industry professionals. Applying these principles to your own CV is going to drastically increase the chances of securing a dream job, increase your earnings, and increase the impression you make on hiring managers when you go to get an interview. These are the same principles I've taught over 25,000 students and also engaged services of a professional resume writer who's written over 2,000 resumes and is able to write the resumes in a way where they're tailored towards the applicant tracking systems used by major companies. I'm going to show you step by step what you should be including in your CV. The first question to ask is what makes a great CV? So I'll break this down into the core components of a CV. We've got the header, the professional summary, the key skills, the professional experience, education, certifications, and any professional affiliation you're part of. So that's the information that should be contained on your CV. I'm going to go through each of these parts of a CV and we'll talk about what construction industry professionals should include on them to increase their chances of landing their dream job. And then I'll finish off with some tips you can take away to maximize your chances of landing your dream job. I struggled with this exact problem when I'd finished university and I was applying for jobs. I had work experience, I had good grades, but at the end of the day, when you're applying for jobs, you're often one of only 100 or hundreds of different applicants. So anything you can do to make your CV better is going to translate to more interviews and hopefully a better job. The first thing people see when they look at your CV is the header. So what should the header contain? The header should obviously contain your full name, your contact details, your LinkedIn profile, and your location. Some people who've got a personal website with some sort of blog or list of projects they've worked on, that can also be a great addition to include there. You should also include 3 to 4 sentences summarizing your professional experience. So for example, looking at my CV, I've got my name, I've got my accreditation, so I'm a project management professional, chartered professional engineer. I'm in Melbourne, my email address, my phone number, my LinkedIn profile, and then I've got a description of the job roles, the extensive experience I've got. So I'm a senior project engineer with experience in overseeing the entire project lifecycle from tendering to construction to commissioning to final completion, and some more information on my professional experience. Below the header, you want to include the key skills that are most relevant to the job you're applying for. The point here is you want to make sure the skills you're including are directly relevant to the job you're applying for. So when someone looks at your resume, the set of skills they see directly matches what they've asked for on the job description. So for example, this job description of a construction project engineer, it requires communication, stakeholder management, design management, scheduling. And so the skills you then include at the top of your resume will directly match the job requirements. So they're communication, cost control and budgeting, stakeholder management, and a set of skills that directly match what's listed in the job. Next, below the key skills, you want to list out your professional experience. Now, it's better to have your professional experience above your education and your qualifications because it's going to be the most relevant thing to the job you're applying for. People reviewing your resume are more interested in your work experience than your university degree that you might have done 5 or 10 years ago. They want to see what type of jobs you've had and what professional experience you've had. For each job, you want to summarize your responsibility and achievements in each role. The big takeaway here is you want to show quantifiable achievements. You don't want to say, I managed a construction project well. You want to say, I managed a $10 million project 2 months ahead of schedule and 5% under budget. You're demonstrating your job performance with quantifiable metrics. That's the key here. You want to express your professional experience, but you also want to express it in terms of quantifiable metrics. Some other things to consider when you're noting your professional experience is make sure it's relevant. If you used to work at McDonald's, but you're applying for a job as a construction project engineer, probably not that relevant. You just really want to make sure that you're including relevant experience. You're not putting in too much additional information that isn't going to be important or relevant to the person reviewing it, and don't go back too far in time. So key here, just make sure it's relevant to the job you're applying for. So below your professional experience is where you include your education, certifications, and professional associations. So typically you'd include your highest degree first and then any other postgraduate certifications you would have needed. The reason not to include your education above your professional experience, as I said before, is because professional experience is ultimately what matters. And if you've got professional experience as a project engineer, then anyone looking at your CV is going to know you have an engineering degree. So try and make it as simple and straightforward as possible and put the important stuff at the top. person looking at your CV wants to know your professional experience. And then as they look through it, they can then look at any education you've done or certifications you've got. The final thing to do is to check your spelling and grammar and proofread your CV. Now, having perfect spelling and grammar isn't going to land you your dream job, but it can definitely lose you your dream job. It shows you're sloppy, it shows you're careless, and a simple spell check is going to be picked up by automated applicant tracking systems used by major companies. So make 1000% sure that the spelling and grammar in your resume is correct before you submit it. When I was applying for grad jobs, I had horrible luck getting from applying to securing an interview. I had good grades, I had good work experience, but I was making a couple of really important mistakes. First thing is I wasn't using an ATS compliant resume that had keywords in it relevant to the job I was applying for. It wasn't tailored to the job I was applying for. My resume was way too long and included irrelevant information, and I'm super embarrassed to say that it had spelling mistakes in it. I accidentally was uploading the wrong revision where I hadn't fixed the spelling and grammar. So as you can imagine, I wasn't making it through the screening process till I fixed up these few important things.